Good day, everyone. Welcome to the Young Pro Show. My name is Matthew Britt, and I'm here today with a very special guest, my friend and fellow entrepreneur, Josh Stiles.
Thank you.
It's awesome to have you here, Josh, and I'm really looking forward to hearing some of the wisdom you have to share with all of our viewers today. Why don't you start off by telling everybody a little bit about yourself and what you've done so far as an entrepreneur?
Well, I kind of got it. My elevator pitch down pat is that I was raised in the foster care system. I was told that I was nothing but $20 a day to certain people, and I didn't really have any sort of guidance or compassion and love from a very young age. I was fortunate enough to have a mentor come into my life as kind of like a big brother, and I was max keeping, and then that kind of relationship blossomed from a big brother to basically my father. I still was in the foster care system. They did everything they could to avoid us being together and spending time with one another. But then at 16, I aged out of the CAS, and then I was on my own, and he was there to sort of mentor me and guide me and basically do everything that a father was supposed to do. And maintain that relationship throughout my until just recently when he passed. And now that was tough. But then before that, I was raised by a single mother, sexually abused. Adolescent teenager raised by a single mom was not the easiest thing to do. And then the CS had this preconceived idea on what it is that I was going to be when I grew up. And it wasn't this. And so I wanted to try and fight that. And I've been currently fighting that up until recently, where I finally figured out that the reason why I was who I was is because I was trying to establish my wealth. And I was trying to establish who I was as a person, as an individual, because I've been told for so long that I wasn't going to be this type of person. So trying to establish my value and what it is, and that's why I was always trying to say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And that's kind of took me through the 20s, where I went through a very downward spiral where I didn't know what I was worth. I was the guy that was, Toonie Tuesdays at this place, or whatever Wednesdays, and tequila Thursdays, and every day I was drinking like it was a celebration, but the following morning hating life. And I was like, God, I can't do this. And then in 2008, a bunch of unfortunate incidents happened where it really brought me down to my lowest point, where I had a bottle of Oxycontin and a bottle of Jack Daniels, and I was like, I'm going to go on a blaze of glory. And then I was looking at my dog Buster, and I'm like, how selfish am I, right? That I can go 4 or 5 days where my friends necessarily wouldn't know I was gone because we wouldn't party for another 4 days. So it's 4 or 5 days where my dog would not be able to eat and not go outside, and I'm like, that's very selfish of me. So then I made a change, I made a transformation, I took fitness into my life. And then I said, what can I do? I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I have no real formal education or experience in sports, and what can I do to make a change? So I decided I'm going to run. I got the canal. I'm going to go run around the canal. And I did my first race. I said I want to do a 10K in 42 minutes. So I set a goal. And as we all know, it's very important in our lives to be able to have a goal that's smart and realistic and achievable. I ended up doing it, and then I fell in love with Spartan Race. And then I got introduced to that world, and I did my first Spartan Race, and then that's when this dream started. I'm like, after I did that, I'm like, there needs to be a place that can train people for that. And then 6 years later, OCR Academy was born.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. So obviously you've had some serious trials and tribulations in your life.
We all have.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah.
And you've been able to take those and help fuel your passion for life now, right?
Good.
What do you think it was that really kind of set that on fire for you? Like what happened that just was that spark that made you say, it's now time for Josh to control his life and be the man he's destined to be?
And tipping point.
Yeah, your tipping point. Let's say that.
The tipping point, which is a great book, and I wasn't a reader for the longest time, and that was my first book that I ever read. And then I read that, and I realized, yes, there's a whole bunch of small events that led to this particular point in my life where I just like, that was enough. And basically it was when I had that bottle of Jack and Oxy, I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I can't live this life. I was a DJ at a strip club. I was partying. I was doing this, and I was living a very destructive lifestyle. And then there was that tipping point where the 1 year, again, my foster brother, who basically gave me any sense of normality, died in a tragic car accident. I got laid off from my job because I went to school and got laid off from that. And then I had a miscarriage with my fiance. Then my fiance left me on the anniversary of my brother's death. She tells me she's pregnant with her now husband's first child. And I was like, that's a real kick to the point. So that's when I decided I'm going to start saving some money. I'm going to focus. I'm going to stop living a destructive lifestyle and take fitness into my life. And it really just changed me. There's things I wasn't doing. I was spending this money on drinks. I was spending this time at bars. I was sleeping better. I was eating better. My face changed. Like, I was just healthier all around. And then I think Spartan Race is really what kind of changed me, because I was introduced to this lifestyle. I gotta tell you, man, the Spartan Race, working for them, hours were long, pay was shit, long hours, and it was, but on race day, telling you, when people overcome those obstacles and they get over that wall, yes, and that passion, that excitement, that fueled me, and I'm like, the 18-hour days leading up to that was all worth it to this. And that really kind of inspired me, where it's like, shit, I could do this for free. And I basically I was getting paid pennies. If I broke it down to an hourly, I was making maybe $2 an hour. But that didn't matter. I was doing what I loved, and it wasn't just a metaphor. It wasn't a Facebook status. It was a legit, I enjoyed what I was doing. And I'm like, how can I make money based on what I love to do?
So a major, I guess, catalyst for you, you'd equate that to exercise.
Yes.
So movement.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something that's really important, that's often overlooked on the journey to success, is how much good movement and exercise does for the human body, right? How much it helps with your overall function, your energy, your hormone production, just all of the good things that exercise does, and how powerful it can be as a antidepressant, as something that empowers people to get the confidence back in their life, etc. And for yourself, now that you've had that in your life, and started with the exercise, but then you mentioned that you weren't a reader, now you started reading. Mm-hmm. So did exercise kind of lead you to the personal growth side of things as well, because of how much you saw the challenging on that side with exercise helping you? Did that open your eyes to reading and the personal growth and that kind of stuff as well?
It did. In being diagnosed with ADHD, I had a hard time just sitting still. And to be able to really apply myself to something I want to do, I had to constantly go move. And then I decided that I have to be able to make myself stronger, not just physically, because I made a transformation. People loved it, and especially the ladies. They were happy about that. But then I was like, okay, I made my body stronger, but how can I make my mind stronger? And so we all hear that knowledge is power. So I decided I want to sit down, and if I feel like it too much energy, I'll drop and do like 10, 20 push-ups, and that would exert some energy, and I'm like, good, then I can focus a little bit more on this, and really just put the remote down, the cell phone down, and just say, this is what I want to do. And that was great, but then I got introduced to podcasts, and podcasts really changed my life. It was like the Joe Rogan podcast has just opened my eyes to so many different things. It's been absolutely phenomenal. But that was it. Just making my body stronger, and then I focused on my mind, and just realized that you don't know everything when you're 20, you don't know everything when you're 30, you don't know everything when you're 50. You don't know everything. You got to constantly be willing to grow. And
I think as you get wiser, you start to realize you know less and less.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
As you read more, you start to realize how little you actually do know.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. I can't watch Cosmos. I watch Cosmos and I feel this big.
It makes sense, because you really are.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
In the whole grand scheme of things. So, Josh, now that you've been an entrepreneur for how long has the OCR been?
6 months. OCR Academy.
OCR Academy. It's been up for 6 months now?
Yes, but it's been a 5-year journey.
Okay.
We've been in operation for 6 months. We're actually making a small profit, but we're breaking even. In the fitness industry, let me tell you guys, it's hard. It's absolutely hard. It's like any business, it can be a little cutthroat, but everybody thinks they've got the best facility. Everybody thinks they've got the best. I think I've got the best, but it's really tough, but it's challenging. But the fact that in 6 months we're making a small profit is good, and I'm really, really proud of that, and the hard work and the community that we have around us, because it's not just me, it's not just my business partner, it's not just the 18 hours a day that we do, and the fact that we're not making any money, like we're not drawing a salary, goes back to that Spartan Race. Yeah, the money's shit, but it's been really good. And I took business sales and marketing 6 years ago. It's before Facebook. No, not even. It was 2008, 2009. Yeah, so 6 years ago. So Facebook just started coming out. Marketing is not what it is now. So really my post-secondary education is irrelevant as far as running a business in today's day and age and making it successful. So I really kind of had to learn and throw as much as I can at the wall and see what sticks. And
watching you guys, I've seen you do all kinds of different things. And one of them that I definitely notice that's different from most other fitness companies is the fact that you operate very much with an abundance mindset. Like you go to other gyms and try to work with them. You try to find solutions to other, instead of being competitors with everybody, I've really noticed that you guys are trying to take on the approach of let's think with an abundance mentality and let's help the overall fitness and health community in Ottawa become better. What made you do that?
Well, as a struggling personal trainer when I first started, I knew that if I wanted to bring in a client to Good Life or to any other gym and they saw me standing there and watching them and say, okay, more reps and spotting them, I'd get kicked out of the facility. And I mean, what's that doing to our community? Listen, I'm just a guy trying to make a buck. I'm trying to make some money here. I'm trying to help people get fit, and then you're kicking me out of the facility. What is that doing to our community? How are we going to make not just our fitness community, but our city, our Ottawa, make that stronger? So as a struggling personal trainer, that's what I wanted to try and change. And then because of our facility, we're not just fitness, we're an obstacle course place, and it's a great place for people of all fitness levels to want to come and test out their skills. You can do bicep curls to your arms are jelly, but if you can't climb up a rope, what's really the point? Yeah, sure, you're nice to look at on the beach, but really what kind of functional purpose does that have? And you can train at any one of those gyms, but guess what? You're not going to get a 20-foot rope. You're not going to get a 25 obstacle course facility. You're not going to get a Ninja Warrior warped wall that you see on TV. You're not going to get monkey bars and all that other stuff all in one place. So by all means, train at your facility and do what you guys do. If you come to OCR Academy, we'll really test your fitness levels.
Yeah,
so
you're going to see something totally different.
Agreed.
Yeah. So now that you got 6 months worth of experience as an entrepreneur, why don't you tell me a couple of your biggest struggles?
Biggest struggle would be shutting down. And like I'm going nonstop. My business partner, he's like, Josh, every day you've got 10 ideas coming at me. And it's like, okay. So I learned from Audrey Marcus, who is the owner of onit.com, ONIT.com, is that he said that he learned that he would only take on 3 things
a day.
No, not in a year. He's like, I'm going to come up with 3 projects, and that's what I'm going to focus on. And the metaphor with the lion tamer is that the best weapon a lion tamer can have is a stool, because the lion focuses on all 4 points and becomes paralyzed. So divided focus can paralyze you. So my idea was, instead of trying to come up with so many different ideas and trying to make all of them work and get distracted from all these other things, and which was the case in the last 6 months, I really focused on those 4 things. So the biggest thing that I've had a problem with is divided focus, and really harnessing and focusing on 3 things that I want to do. So the OCO, kids camp, and memberships. Those are my 3 things that I really want to focus on, and not all these other things that I want to do. So
that's a very good one. Yeah.
I'm opening up a business with a guy that I met 8 months prior when we were both on dates. I was with my fiance and he was with his girlfriend, and they knew each other that way. And I met him and I'm like, he said, I own a gym in my garage. I'm looking to open a facility. I said, well, I want to hire you as a trainer. I want to see how you do this. And him as a trainer, he's the best trainer in the world as far as what he does in that aspect. And so I was like, you want to change fitness? He said, yeah. We high-fived, became business partners, and the rest is sort of history. But I didn't know him. I really didn't know how he was as a person. And so when you get into a business with somebody, it's a relationship. Mm-hmm. And it's a marriage. And if you can't tolerate that person at his worst, I mean, it's really going to happen. When you're working together for 17 hours a day, you're going to see each other at each other's worst. We've had some arguments, but the good thing is the arguments that we've had, we have a gym. So we literally just like, stop, let's go to the squat rack. And I've got to tell you, the worst argument we had was the best day that I had lifting. It was awesome. And we worked it out, and it was great. But yes, that was another big thing, just learning how my business partner works. And don't let the numbers fool you. And where you are currently is not where you're going to be in a year from now. Nobody knows what's going to happen. If you've got this whole perceived idea, of young entrepreneurs like, I'm going to run the world, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I didn't know 10 years ago that I was going to be here today. I didn't know 4 days ago that I was going to be here talking with you. I don't know, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and capitalize every moment and make every day last. But yeah, don't let the numbers fool you. So I'm looking at them, oh man, our memberships are low. We're not making any money. Well, I'm done. And then walk out. And that's not gonna help anybody. So just believe in what you're doing and know that if you believe in it, good things will happen. And
yeah, that's very good to get across to people, because they can definitely get wrapped up in some of those in the numbers and some of the trials and tribulations and paralyze themselves, right?
Yeah.
So if you were to talk to thank you, if you were to talk to the youth, Josh, and be able to provide a couple tips for wisdom that they can go and apply to their life and to help them go after their dreams and realize what it is that they want, what are some of the let's say the top 3 things you would say?
Well, geez, I mean, I barely got through college. I mean, I'm surprised I got through college STD free, to be perfectly honest. The fact that I got through college was a sheer joy. I didn't graduate high school. I got on into college as a mature student. So, based on my personal experience, I really can't give them based on my own personal experience. But what I can tell you is that nothing's set in stone, guys. Like, I barely got through college, didn't get through high school, and here I am today talking with you guys, and I'm on my way to changing fitness, and it's because I'm very passionate what I do. So the best advice that I can give you is be passionate in whatever it is that you do. The thing that teachers try to teach our kids is, if you love riding horses, figure out how you can make money riding horses. If your favorite thing is climbing trees, the best rock climber in the world just won $1 million on Ninja Warrior. There's ways for you to do it, but you have to be passionate in what you do. And if you spend 70% of your life hating what you do, so that you can spend the next 30% of your life doing what you want to do, what's really the fun in that?
Yeah.
So also fail. Be prepared to fail. I can't tell you how many jobs I've had. I've been fired. I've been irresponsible. I've hurt a lot of people, and I've hurt myself. But it's all growing pains. So, yeah.
So no failure, only feedback.
That's really good. Yeah.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn.
Mm-hmm. And that's it. Always learn. Always, but also have experiences in life. If you don't have any experiences,
so keeping your mind open to new experiences.
That's
definitely very important as well. So just to wrap up here, Josh, you've been really exceptional at providing some wisdom for these people.
Oh, thank you.
And I want to just ask you one more thing about who is it that you think we need to have on this show so that we can get some more exceptional value and content out to our viewers?
Well, my dad, Max Keeping, he had a guy that he would call the next Max Keeping. And he came from a really underprivileged family and a really underprivileged life experiences. And he was able to grow where, I think before he was 25, he raised like $1 million for charity. And his name is Tuan. And Tuan he gave me some valuable information on how he was able to become successful in what he's done. And being a young entrepreneur himself, he has a wealth of information.
Yeah, and I agree with you there. I know Tuan as well very well, and I definitely think he's a person to have on the show. So.
Agreed.
Thank you so much for your time today, Josh.
Thank you.
It's been awesome. Much appreciated.
Appreciate
I hope everyone got some great value from us. And again, this is Josh Stiles. He owns the OCR Academy.
All fitness levels.
All fitness levels. Incredible place. I've been there. And remember to subscribe to us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, and go check out the OCR Academy here in Ottawa. Have an amazing day.
Thank you.